Hey guys, and welcome back to another Thirsty Voice podcast. I'm Mooch Slide, and of course I'm never by myself. I'm with the one and only Dr. Thirst.
What's up?
You know, this podcast is our first podcast in, I think, more than 8 months at this point, which, you know, it makes it a special one.
Indeed it is. 8 months is almost a year.
That's crazy, though. I remember when podcasts were, like, the only thing on our channel.
I remember.
Anyways, I feel like we owe you guys some explanations as to what we've been doing since then. And, you know, why we've been absent. So, let me think. What were we doing last time we recorded?
I believe it was the Halloween episode.
That's true, yeah. Bro, okay, so I think the last official podcast we recorded was actually not 8 months ago, because we recorded one earlier. It was it was actually the JoJo podcast, but that one was a failed podcast and never got uploaded.
Right.
Because we ended up reading JoJo and we're like, we shouldn't do a podcast if it was just anime only.
That's true. Wow. And it's been like almost a year, so you might be wondering what the hell I've been up to. And I'll tell you, we got jobs. Yes, jobs. Where, you may ask? Well, the one, the only KFP.
Kikeriki!
We work with Kiara, the Hololive YouTuber. And unfortunately, after those 8 long months, we realized that
Fell off
we
sadly.
could do better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
ratio fell off sadly, young boy better, all that's good stuff.
no, so it wasn't like we completely stepped away from the internet, I guess, because, you know, we both have our own channels. You still haven't put anything on it. For a good month, I was consistent with my uploads, maybe 2 months actually. Because I remember we stopped recording because of school at first. And I remember we were saying that we need to keep, like, doing recordings when we don't have school, so, like, during breaks and stuff. So, it was winter break, and I remember I was talking with you, and I challenged myself. I made a challenge to myself that every day of winter break, I was going to make an upload. And at the time, you were teaching me how to use Premiere Pro, so it was just practice for myself, basically, you know, for editing. So
Those videos aren't bad at all.
they're not bad, sure. The best ones though, you edited for me. You could tell. You could tell if Angela recorded anything, because at the end, instead of saying subscribe, it's gonna say subcrib.
Oops. Dyslexia moment. My bad. Happens to the best of us, I suppose.
Yeah. But no, so I remember we started just putting down stupid ideas and saying, hey, let's do this, let's do that. And we just recorded them, I just put them up. But aside from that, we did like, I think 3 days in a row we streamed during spring break.
Yes.
And that, yes.
My Twitch channel.
Yeah, it was
We
on
just played Roblox.
His Dr. Thirst channel. Yeah, we played Roblox. We did YBA, and we did Shrek: The Force Awakens.
We just speed run.
No, so we did it like 3 nights in a row consistently, and we stayed up till like 3 a.m. to do them too. So those streams are already all gone, so you can't see them. But I think the upload after that was the one I did, because I said that we owed a video. So I did a compilation of our stream clips, and I put them up. So then after that, we took like another break, I guess. Oh yeah, okay. So we already had a job at this point.
Yeah,
So
and it was quite time consuming, but
it
like,
was.
All right, so let me explain to you guys how our thought process was and how stupid we were as any new 16-year-old. We said to ourselves, I don't care how much they pay me. I just care about getting paid. Like the idea of getting paid. That's so cool. I said, frick it, break the law. Under the law, pay me.
I don't care. Break the law.
And wow, do I regret that?
I'll tell you how we got our job. So I don't know if you remember back in our first podcast when we were saying how we got our nicknames. I told Angelo like the reason why he got Dr. Thirst because when we had turned 14 and we were like just able to start working, we were applying for jobs. So minimum wage in Florida at the time, I'm not sure if it still is, but at the time it was $8.46
or something like that.
So yeah, it was $8.46. I remember because like I'd said it so many times because you kept asking me. Anyway, you had to put how much you expected to get paid, and Angelo said that he wanted to get paid $10 an hour, and I said, bro, you thirsty, dude. It's your first job. Expect to get the absolute minimum wage. And he was like, okay. So picture that. Our expectation was we were happy with the absolute minimum wage. In fact, we were happy with less than that. So I remember one fateful day, we were probably playing Roblox or something. And when we decided to hop off because there was too many hackers,
I say, hey, let's look for a job.
Let's look for a job. Okay, I think you were like, help me look for a job. So we started looking for jobs in our area, and you're like talking about some other place, and I'm like, I'm just giving you different suggestions and stuff. We're talking about our portfolios and everything, and I look and I see KFC hiring urgently.
No, at first we saw this like car washing place, and
we did.
Yeah, and we're like, is this too far from me? And it kind of was, but did they pay like $10 an hour?
I think they did, but so we were looking at different places, right? And anyway, eventually it all came like this conversation took like 3 hours. All right, it all came down to me finding an application for KFC that said urgent. It's a JRN KFC urgently hiring. I'm like, bro, that's literally like right here. Like I could walk there. It'll take you a bit, but like it's still pretty close to you.
Yeah, and I walked a lot of times to KFC.
He did. I mean, I walked like almost. I rode my bike like every day because I was so close. But I was like, dude, we have to do this one. Like, we were just applying too. I wasn't expecting them to get back to us. But
yeah, I was so excited when they called us. Like, they're like, yeah, or texted us. They're like, yeah,
they texted us
for an interview.
The next day, like literally the next day, like at 10 in the morning. It was like, we'd love to hear from you. Like, give us a call. But I remember, we put it in and we thought it was gonna choose like one of us. But here's the thing. I remember I had no intent of getting a job actually. You said help me get a job, and you were scared to put in your application. I said, look, I'll apply with you. And I put in the application too. And like you put like all this nice stuff, and I basically just like filled out the form like with the most minimal stuff. Just so that I could say I applied with you, so that you would, be brave enough to actually apply. But you had the intent to actually get the job.
Yeah.
And I thought they're gonna pick one of us. If they pick me, it's because I live closer. If they pick you, it's because you actually like put good stuff on your resume. So the next day we check. We both got the text saying that we should call. So we do, and we get our interview like I think they said to come in
like a Monday.
That
Friday.
Monday. I think it was Saturday, and they told us to come in that Monday.
And dude,
anyway,
your luck, dude. Your luck.
Dude, so Angelo goes in. He's able to do it. I kid you not. At this point, I had been for the entire second quarter of the school year. Okay, so this was in January, right? This is towards the end of January. So we were still like in our last week of winter break. So
Yes.
I had been in online school for second quarter because my grandma had came down from Pennsylvania, and this is like prime COVID time. So we had they had me on, doing like Zoom. So
Those sucked.
dude, they did. I didn't do shit, bro. I literally watched Hollow Live, and like watched like CDogVA on Twitch, and played
Literally,
Roblox.
You just kind of. Most people just had their camera literally facing their fan.
Yeah, everyone did. Like there was not a single person who was looking at the camera.
Except for me, I looked like Linus Tech Tips looking at the camera all depressed.
No way. Anyway, I had been on online school for the entirety of second quarter, right? So okay, this was not the last week of winter break. It was actually the week after, because I had been to school. That was my first week going to school. So that weekend we got the opportunity, right? And I was supposed to go in on Monday. Monday morning I get to school and I'm in my first class period. I'm fine. I was in history. They don't say anything. I get to chemistry and the teacher gets a phone call that I need to go to the clinic with all my stuff. Because they didn't tell you why, because they're not allowed to tell you, like, to say it in front of the whole class. But if you have to leave with all of your stuff, especially like last year, if you had to leave with all your stuff, that meant that you had been contact traced. So I go home and they're like, they tell me all stuff. I need to be home for, it was 2 weeks back then. After that, it went down to 10 days, and I think it's shorter now. But it was 2 weeks back then, and it was 2 weeks from the not from the day that you had been not the day that you were actually in contact with the person, but from the day that you got contact traced. So I go home and I realize, holy shit, I was supposed to go to the interview at 4, but I wasn't allowed to go, so I had to call, cancel. They're like, okay. So Angelo gets the job, of course.
Yeah, I go in, I say some funny stuff. Not really. I just kind of sat there the whole time. There's another person there. Both got the job. And so this is basically what went down. So we scheduled up days I was going to work. It was going to be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 4 to 9:30. I'm like, okay.
No,
so
it wasn't 9:30 at first. I think we did to 8:30 at first, and then they started then they gave us half-hour increments more after.
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, pretty good. And so basically my first day, they're like, okay, so this is the freezer. I'm like, okay. And they just like the manager just whipped out a tray of biscuits and said, here, this is gonna be the easiest thing you're gonna do here. Told me, put those biscuits in the oven and press that button. I'm like, alright, pretty easy. And then it was another girl that got hired with me, and we both started on the same day. And so
Jasmine,
lucky for her, she got put on like the food line, like packing the food. And unlucky for me, I was put in the drive-thru, which I now despise. And I
At
feel
the time,
bad.
at the time, we did not realize how bad it was going to be.
We were naive and
But continue.
Yeah.
Continue.
So anyways, I noticed this kid. I'm like, hey, this bozo goes to my school. And we were talking. He's like, hey, what school do you go to? And I'm like, pretty sure I go to your school. He's like, no way, bro. That's so cool. And
Radical,
he's the chillest
dude.
guy ever. And he did smoke weed. Anyways,
He was always so sickly.
he was pretty chill. And so basically my job was to make the drinks. I had to look at the board and make the drinks. And I'm like, okay, this is easy. I can manage this. This is quite easy. At first I didn't quite know how to read like the board. I was reading it from bottom to top. I don't know why, but it was kind of confusing. But then I quickly got the hang of it. And so then the next day, they quickly promote me. Not really promote, but like they switched me up. They start training me for the cash register. And my buddy that goes to my school, he was like a good mentor, honestly. And
he trained me too. He was there on
he
my
taught
first
me
day.
all I
He did
know.
my training.
And a good tip he gave me that it will always stick with me. Just look like you're doing something. Just do whatever.
That applies
do
to
it.
everything. That applies to school. That applies to any job you're gonna do. Just always look like you're doing something.
And this sticks with me. It's always in the back of my head.
Honestly.
He literally just whipped out a napkin and started like wiping down where the ice is.
I did that all the time.
Yeah, no, I did that for like anytime there was nothing to do. I just wiped down the little ice thing container. And alright, and so it was my second day. I don't think I told you this, but I did get yelled at. Not by
You did?
Alright. The crew, the employees, they were all pretty nice.
Remember,
But-
for Angelo's first 2 weeks, I'm at home because I have been contact traced at this point. So this is where he's working there by himself.
Yeah, and so basically I kept on forgetting for some reason. Every now and then I forget to give them their change, which I've noticed a lot of people did that, which I'm like, okay, so I'm just trying to figure out the little system. And so then I think I missed like a few cents for this lady, and she went ballistic. She went like, this is why kids shouldn't be working. I'm like, bruh.
Bro,
And
who
that
do you
really,
think works all retail
freaked me
and
out.
fast food? This is his
Yeah.
first time being yelled at, dude. Can't blame him. Being yelled at by a customer.
Third day, smooth. It's pretty smooth. It's just like, the thing was, the sheer amount of people that went by the drive-thru was insane. You just kind of look outside and you see the line, and it kind of gives you that feeling.
Yeah.
So basically, it was
And the
okay.
lobby's closed.
Yeah, it was just drive-thru only. So it seemed like the drive-thru would never stop, which was quite a nightmare sometimes. If you're like, well, at first I didn't have to take care of orders, but most of the time they would get the order wrong because it's old people and they're like either like they have their huge truck and they're really ignorant and don't consider like their engine is literally like roaring, or it's like a old person again. It's usually just old people because that's what Florida is only consisting of. And they're like whispering. I'm like, bruh. But at first it was really easy. And so then, yeah, those 2 weeks were,
Yeah, that was your first week.
they're okay. And then David started.
Well, okay, so here's what happened. So after that, I was able to finally do the interview. And interview isn't even the right word because I got there. She asked me 2 questions. It was, how old are you? And do you have a criminal record? That was literally it. We didn't have to do the computer training or anything because she would do it for us. All right. All we did was like the actual hands-on training, which is just like, they show you what to do. So anyway, I get there. She was like, if you want, you can start this Friday. Another inconvenience had popped up. I had to get my wisdom teeth removed. So I was delayed another week because I had to get my wisdom teeth removed on that Friday in the morning. So I was kind of out for that weekend because I don't know if you ever got your wisdom teeth removed, that'll put you out, bro. Like, you can't eat. I remember I couldn't feel my lips, dude. I couldn't tell. I had to drink these shakes because I couldn't eat solid food, and I straight up would like miss my mouth because I could you could not tell where stuff on your face is because it's so numb. So it pushes back another week. So finally, Angela's been working there for 3 weeks until I finally am able to show up for my first day. I remember he was telling me everything that's going on over there. So I show up. I will never forget when I walked in on my first day, dude. The smell. Just the 90% oil humidity in the air. I walk in, and that's the first time I see Elijah.
The homie.
He's like, yeah. He shows up. He says, "What's your shirt size, boss?"
He's a pretty nice guy.
Yeah. He tosses me a shirt, hat, and a mask. He's like, "All right, go to the bathroom, put that on, and then come out, and I'll show you what to do." So I go put on the uniform, and I remember I was like, "Dang, it's kind of clean," because I was expecting like some ugly ass uniform that I was gonna hate putting on. And it's not, it's not a fancy uniform or anything, but it was a lot cleaner than I expected it to be. So I put it on and I head out. And he's like, "All right, I'm gonna show you around," So he shows me the sink, tells me to wash my hands. There's a sign that says like, "Don't ejaculate in the sink" and stuff.
Yep.
They said, sing "Happy Birthday" 2 times in your head, and wash your hands, and then you're done. This water is scorching hot, and I remember it burned me the first day.
It was like, boiling, okay. Dude.
It was. So I was like, that's hot. Now eventually, I would get used to this, but I was like, dang, that was a lot hotter water than I expected. So just like he did for Angela, he shows me the biscuits and everything. Shows me where all the garbage cans are. He shows me the dish pit. Shows me every part of the store. So then I walked past Angelo, and he's like, "What the?"
All right, we made sure that we acted like we didn't know each other.
Because we were scared that if they knew that we were friends, they wouldn't let us work together. So they were like, I even remember, she said, "I'm fine with hiring minors." She said, I recently hired 2 kids your age, a boy and a girl. I'm like, "Oh, really?" She's like, "Yeah. One's named Angelo and one's named Jasmine." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I did not act like I knew him at all. So we go in. We didn't greet each other at all. And I swear we shook hands and everything like it was our first time meeting. We were like, "Hey, so I'm David. What's your name?"
Angelo.
So anyway, he shows me to Dylan, and he was like, "All right, he's gonna show you what to do from now on." So he shows me, basically everything he showed Angelo. He explains to me what we can do. Tells me about the illegal lemonade.
Oh,
like
I completely forgot about that. The legal lemonade.
Alright. So employees at KFP can have every drink except the lemonade because it is the Colonel's premium lemonade.
It literally said on the box.
It literally said that. Most items in the store. Okay, so whatever the name of the item was, just put the Colonel's in front of that.
Like the Colonel's Pepsi, the Colonel's toilet paper,
Colonel's
stuff like
iced
that.
tea. If it was just regular, instant mashed potatoes, the Colonel's mashed potatoes, Colonel's gravy, Colonel's mac, literally anything, the Colonel's in front of it. It was everywhere. There was on our uniform, literally on our uniform, the tag
Said
says, "Make the Colonel proud."
Proud, yeah.
So I get used to all of that, but I remember they sent me to get ice, and that was the first time I smelled the dish pit in my life.
Ugh, atrocious, dude.
I walked in there, and all I could think of what to say is when I walked in there and took a breath, the hair in my nose disintegrated and my nose shriveled up. I was just like, I went
Shivers.
shivers down my spine. And I refill the ice. And I was like, holy crap. At first it smelled kind of good, It kind of smelled like food, right?
Chicken, yeah.
But then that's when you start to smell the bad stuff.
The atrocity.
Oh my god. So that was
Yeah,
bad.
it's
I also
disgusting.
remember the first time I made mac and cheese. The microwave stank ass, bro. I remember the smell that came. I was standing by the mac and cheese, and there was this smell that hit me, and I legit almost quit within the first 2 weeks because of how bad the smell was. I cannot even describe it. It was like puke. I smelled it, and it was rancid. It was so bad, and it would actually burn your nose. You breathe it in, and it physically hurt you. I'm not even exaggerating at that point. Because it was always hot, too. Because it came from, the microwave. It would come from areas that we had heaters and stuff. It was so bad. But, I stuck through it. And our first couple months was kind of smooth like that, We got used to the routine, and we just kind of did that. We were just working we still didn't take orders yet. We just kind of worked the window together. I made drinks, and I made the drinks, and you took the money, So it was like that for a while. Then after, there was a period of time where they moved you to morning shift, and I still had the night shift. Now, up until that point, the night shift for me had just been fun and games because it was just, I get to hang out with Angelo, and, make drinks. But when they take a person away from your team, that's when you realize, this is not an easy job. So,
For real.
the night crew at that point was Destiny, Elijah, me, Noah, and Jasmine. So Jasmine took care of orders for a while until eventually I took that, or she took care of cashier, and I took care of drinks though. So that was alright. I remember, dude, I was literally pissed at you. I got so mad because you would tell me how your day was. It was decent. And I would get there, it was so bad, bro. I remember, I literally, every time I woke up and I would think about work and I knew that you were in the morning shift, I would say I'd be like, hope he's enjoying his nice morning shift. I was so resentful because of that. And, I have to go through that because we were really short-staffed, and eventually it was just 4 people on night shift. It's the worst. Like, it's actually the worst. I would never wish that on anyone. Having to do night shift at KFC, understaffed.
Oof, that's a nightmare.
So, I'm trying to think if anything exciting happened. Not really. But
someone new got hired. He was a minor too, and Jasmine quit at that point. And they.
Oh no. Okay, so I remember when Jasmine quit. I was like, damn, bro, she really just kind of left like that. I remember, bro. Not only that, the mermaid effect had a. I don't know what it's actually called, but I keep calling it the mermaid effect. The mermaid effect had already taken place, bro. So I was double hurt.
The mere, what's it called? I remember learning about this in psychology. I should know. It's called the sheer. No. I don't know. I forgot.
Initiating Google search.
Mere exposure phenomenon. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. When you're exposed to something, you're like, dang. Anyways, it taught me how to take orders. So now we have a new member in their crew, and he was always late for some reason. So I took orders. He did the window. Well, I taught him. I basically taught him the same thing Dylan taught me. Like, the best thing I could tell him was just always act like you're doing something. Like, that's the best advice I could give anyone. Thanks to Dylan.
I remember at this point we still weren't like dreading going to work.
Yeah.
Like we had realized that it wasn't initially what we thought, but we still at this point we still had not. And this is like 2 months in. 2 months or more? I think
maybe
just 2
more.
months. 3 months. We'll say that 3 months. So 3 months in, and we're still realizing things, but we haven't seen like the true beast.
The
that
worst.
This is.
Yeah, it was just the beginning. So basically, taking orders could be a nightmare. When it comes to food, people really change.
You're not you when you're hungry, bro.
Exactly. And so, of course, I would get some orders wrong here and there, and it was all huge. It's a huge deal, apparently.
Anytime you do anything that is, like, not perfect, it's a big deal. Again, this is our problem is never with the coworkers, except for me. I had a couple, but our problem for the most part never with the coworkers. It's always to do with customers.
'Cause they're rednecks, most of them.
Yeah.
Rednecks and old people.
There's one other category.
The unspoken category.
The one other demographic, bro. But
anyways, so one day we were lucky enough to have a shift together. Well, we had a little transition period where we were there together.
yeah, we did.
So basically, this is what happened one day. David was doing prep, I believe. I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
And I was doing the window, taking money and stuff. And so basically, I'm just out here doing what Dylan told me. Just look like you're doing something, wiping down the counter and stuff like that. And so then I see this strange man
And we were,
approaching.
we're waiting for stuff to get done. We're letting the cars hit like 2,000 on the timer.
Yeah, the whole system was stressful. That was another reason why it was terrible. So basically, I see this man approaching the window. I'm like, I wonder what he wants. He comes up, slams the window with his, like...
I heard it. I was in the
like,
dish pit making gravy.
He 5-starred
Speaking of the devil,
window
I was making gravy.
and said, I only got one gravy. You owe me another one. Go back there and get me another one. Now I want to go. I'm like,
Okay. I heard the slam, so I walk out. I'm like, I look at Angela. I'm like, what happened? And he's standing there like, you know, just kind of like blankly staring at me. And there's this dude. His hand is still on the window.
Yeah, I didn't say a word to him. I'm like, I just closed the window. I was gonna find something. I'm like, I can't deal with this.
And you're like, David. You're just like, David. And I'm like, no, you can't be talking to my boy like this. So I walk over, open the window. This is the first time I had like an aggressive encounter with a customer. I'm like, what's your problem? And he's just like, so Angelo's behind me. Everyone else is throughout the store. We're the only two at the window. This guy is there. And there's a poor lady sitting in her car waiting for her food. He cut the line. He walked through the line, right? So he's just standing there. So there's 4 people in total, right? There's a person in the car, him, me, and Angelo. We're on this side. I'm like, what's your problem? He looks at me. And I thought he was going to say what he said to Angelo. He just kind of yell at me. But instead, he tells me his side of the story.
His backstory.
So, you know, I say, what's your problem? He goes, I was here 5 minutes ago. He already messed up when he said that. Already messed up. I was here 5 minutes ago. My meal comes with gravy. So, I'm driving home. I get there, and I look. There's no gravy in the bag. I look around my car. I ask my kids. I ask my wife. He says, I asked my kids. Ask my wife. They didn't know where the gravy is. Now, I'm outside my house. I'm looking around town, asking people. No one knows where my gravy is. I literally said, stop right there. I was like, I literally said to his face, you didn't. I said, you did not ask other people. To his face, this adult man, I said, you did not ask other people. I was like, you were here 5 minutes ago. There's literally timers, bro. If you were 5 minutes ago, you did not have enough time to drive home, look around the city, and come back.
The city. He looked around the city asking strangers.
Dude, the entirety of Sarasota, dude. He's walking around.
Just walking around asking people, have you seen my gravy?
Getting on his knees. Like pulling at their shirt. You see my gravy? Anyway, this is getting pretty.
Kids.
Yeah. So this is escalated at this point. It's getting kind of loud. So my manager had heard this. Elijah had heard it. So he comes over. He's like, "Well, what's the problem?" And he's about to say the same story to Elijah. So I cut him off. I'm just like, he didn't get a gravy and he wants another, but he decided to like come up and yell at the window. So he's just like, oh, just get him another. So he just hand him the gravy and he just leaves. And I remember I just look at you and you're just like, we were quiet for a second. And then I said, he asked around town. We started dying of laughter.
Like the whole time I was there, just like, I think I was like drinking something. It was just a whole show for me.
Yeah, as I'm fighting for his, I'm fighting for his honor, and he's just, you know, sipping on whatever, Colonel's sweet tea.
Yeah, it was either sweet tea mixed with lemonade, or
it was probably it wasn't lemonade because we didn't dare to touch the lemonade at that point.
Oh, it was like a few more months, and they were like, this lemonade's pretty good.
I had not even tasted it. Think about that, dude. Because I was so, you know, such a law-abiding citizen. Anyway,
it wasn't even
that was kind of
good. The fact it was forbidden. That's it.
I'll still say it's a decent fast food lemonade. Is it like a high quality lemon? Is it premium lemonade? No. If you could tell me premium lemonade, I'm thinking like Chick-fil-A lemonade. That's what I'm gonna say is like the standard of like premium lemonade. But no. Anyway, that was our first like escalated encounter with customers, and we're gonna have like many more from this point on.
Oh,
so,
yeah, that was just.
Yeah, that was literally the first one, and that took 3 months. So from then on, it's gonna happen like quite frequently. I'm only gonna go over like the major ones, but the next one after that that's like noteworthy was the old man who called the police on himself.
No way. Yeah, I was taking orders. That's why I missed it.
Yeah, he missed it. He was there, but he missed it. He came like towards the end, and I was like, bro, this man called the police on himself. So to give you guys some background information, I already told you that the lobby's closed, so that's important to remember. Angelo's, were you taking orders? Yeah, you were already taking orders at this point.
Yeah.
So he's taking orders, working in the window, and I'm standing by the prep line, waiting to get the bag of food so I can take it to Angelo. And I hear like knocking coming from the lobby. So I'm like, this dumbass can't read the sign that says lobby is closed. So we ignore it. We hear it again. It's this old dude just knocking on the door. So we keep ignoring him. Then he like starts pounding on, not even the door, on the window at this point. Bam, bam, bam. And Elijah's like, he's like, is he smacking my window? So we see what's the problem. He's holding a box because he just had a 3-piece white. No, a 2-piece white. Classic meal, no drink. With mashed potatoes and coleslaw, original. So he says the pieces that we gave him had no meat. So I'm thinking, oh, he means we gave him skinny pieces of chicken. Until he showed us the box, and he literally meant no meat at all. And he shows us this box with bones in it. And it's very clear that he was the one who cleared the bones, because there's like there's like obvious like bite mark areas, like he still left some, you know what I mean? Like if you're gonna clear the bone, clear the whole bone. I will clear the cartilage cap and everything. No, he like left the cap on top too, so it had original on the top part and on the bottom part. So, and one of them was a breast, right? So it was wings, a wing and a breast. So the wing was like mainly bones, but the breast, he like left like the tendon part of it on too. So it was very clear that he ate it and came back and tried to say that we only like straight up just gave him bones and nothing else. So we're telling him, we're like, bro, that's bullshit. Like no, literally no one would believe that. So he says that if we don't give him like another piece, he was going to call the police on us for scamming him.
The police.
For scamming him when he was literally trying to scam us. So we laugh and like close the door in his face. And you know, I'm still waiting to get the food because that was a delay. And I look out the corner of my eye and I see he's still standing there. And I see he's on the phone. I say, Elijah, I don't think he was joking. I kid you not, 2 minutes later, police show up. So we're like, oh shoot. Angelo comes over, he's like, what the police? I explained to him the situation, and we watched him talk to the old man. And they like very aggressively point at the sign of the wall, like point at him, and like basically like tell him to get the, like, you know, they like point their thumb behind their back, like basically tell him to get out. And so then Elijah goes out, talks to the police, sees what happens. They banned him from going back to KFC. They said, "You see this sign right here? It says that the lobby is closed. You come here, you keep disrupting it. We see you again. You're getting kicked another time. Don't come back here." He called the police on us for trying to scam him. They literally looked at the bones he had, kicked him out, got himself banned from KFC, called the police on himself.
Just a whole show.
So there's another time after. Is the next time really like? Okay, so there's a time skip between that time and the next one that I can think of. Next one
What is this, One Piece?
Dude, no, there's actually a time skip because like a couple months have gone by. We're now fully like, if not fully, but like almost fully like
miserable.
Aware, yeah, miserable. So we're pretty used to it at this point. Now, people have coming on. A new girl was working there named Jaden.
Bozo fell off.
Actual bozo. Young boy better. Not even fell off sadly, just fell off. So, we kind of show her what to do. Anyway, the one day, I'm working window and I have to work window and she gets to work prep. And I would always volunteer to work prep if I could, because that meant I get to make coleslaw, which meant I got to go in the cooler. And I loved going in the cooler and making coleslaw. It was so cold. Like, not even that, it was just so cold in there. Like, it was a nice relax. Because the fan in there kind of acted like as white noise, and it kind of just blocked out everything. So she's working that, I'm working the window. You were there, right? Were you taking orders?
I have no idea.
You were. Alright, you were taking orders. Marissa is chilling in there for some reason. She's just like leaning against the wall. So, this lady comes. Eyelashes she could fly away with. Fake blonde dreads.
Is this the
scars
kids
on
box?
her face? Yes.
Yup, I was there. Yes.
Scars on her face. She looked like if Rambo was black and a woman.
And eyelashes that could fly.
Yes.
Literally.
Fake blue eyes. She looks beat up as hell. Like actual like the 3 claw mark scar on her face. Anyway, I
remember this clearly. Yeah, I remember this. I took her order, and so basically we were out of I think it was a leg. That we
you didn't know though.
Yeah, I didn't know.
It was the popcorn chicken. Popcorn chicken was down in the fryer. It had like 4 minutes left. You didn't know because they didn't tell you. So you just let her order go through. And by the time she gets there, we're like, oh shoot, there's gonna be like a 4-minute wait on the popcorn chicken. So I tell her what I always have to do if we have to park someone. I say, it just went down. I tell them how long it's gonna be. I say, if you can just park on the other side of that wall and we'll take it right out to you. She says, no.
What?
I'm like, I turn around, what? She's like, no, where's my food? I tell her again. She says, no, I'm gonna sit and wait here until I get my food. There's a line of like 300 people behind her, and she's gonna, all people who don't have popcorn chicken, so they could all get their orders. No, she's gonna sit and wait there, ruining our times, ruining everyone's patience, everything, just because she didn't want to go and park. When she thinks about it, she has to do less work. She can go park. I'll take her food to her. No, she doesn't want to do that. So I literally tell her. Oh, go ahead.
You can switch it out for something else, and I think we offer her tenders.
I told her
or
that.
a leg.
I said, you can get any of the other kids meals. So there's the tenders and there's the legs. You can get any of the other ones. We'll replace that if you don't want to wait. And she was like, no, I want what I ordered. So I go get Elijah. I'm like, hey, can you like tell her to go park or leave, because I did what I had to do already. So he goes, tells her the exact same thing that I did, like almost word for word. And she finally goes, okay. She says that she wants the legs. Actually, she said, give me whatever. She wasn't specific, right? You said, give me whatever. You're gonna get whatever. So he says, all right, go get drums, because I don't think we had enough tenders at that time to like just spare all of them. Cause she had like 4 kids meals, and then like something for herself.
Yeah, she got a lot of food too. It was like $40 worth of food, probably.
Yeah, like 36, 40 around there. So we couldn't just spare all of that. So he says, here, go get legs. So we put it all in boxes. I hand it to her, and she's like, this isn't what I wanted. I wanted tenders. At that moment, I went, I look at her, I said, you said whatever. You did not say you wanted tenders. So Elijah is like, she continues saying how this is not what she wanted, how she's not going to take that. So he says, what's the problem now? And okay, so we're not allowed to take food back once we hand it to you. But we just, that was like a tray, like 2 trays worth of legs. Not 2 trays, like a tray's worth of legs there. It was original too, and people kill for dark original.
For real, they would scream at you for it.
Yeah,
it was upsetting.
So we can't just waste that stuff. So he's like, give me the boxes back, and we take the boxes and we're about to like dump them out, like back into the tray, and she's like, you know what? Never mind, just give them to me. So that like made me even more upset. So I hand them back to her. And I'm thinking, okay, you can go now. And she says, this isn't the right box.
What?
I have never witnessed such a bro moment. She's like, this isn't the right box. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, this isn't the kids box.
Like,
I literally looked at her. I was like, kids box? And she said, yeah, this always comes with the kids box. I was like, no, we use the same boxes for everything. She has the audacity to then say, how long have you been working here? Every time I come, they always have kids meal boxes. So I look back at Marissa, who is still there for some reason. And she says, I've been working here for 3 years and we've used the same boxes for everything. So I tell her, I'm like, I've been working here half a year. We've never had a single kids box. And she's like, no, there is. And I say, this isn't McDonald's. We use the same box for everything. There is no Happy Meal. She kind of gets mad that I say that.
Like, for real, like, there is, except the fact. What do you expect us to do? Like,
she was like, and then she says, it's on the menu. I say, no, what's on the menu is the exact same box I gave you, but open with all the food displayed. There is no special box. Literally, it's just open. That's what you're seeing. So she's like kind of mad with that. Flips me off, leaves. Like just kind of just drives off. And she put her finger so close to my. It was disrespectful how close she put her finger to my face when she did it. She stuck her hand out the window. Flips me off, leaves. So I, out of anger, kind of like lean my head out the window. And I said, yeah, fuck you too, bitch. Thinking she's not gonna, thinking she can't hear me. Next old lady comes by. She heard me scream that and everything. She sees the lady flip me off. She's like, she pulls up. Oh my god. She's like, oh my god, who is that? And I'm like, I'm so sorry, man. She flipped me off, like all this stuff. And she's just kind of like breathing heavy, like she just witnessed someone get like shot. So I go and I'm about to hand her food. and I hear, "What's your name?"
I remember this.
My
what's
heart
going on?
stopped.
Dude, I stopped taking orders.
You even stopped taking the order. You stopped taking the order mid-order. You stop and you look at me. My eyes are just like wide open. Like I kind of like look back at you.
Like, get me
there
out
it
of
is
this
again.
place.
What's your name? I'm like, I look at the lady and I'm like, oh shoot, and I see
Bounce.
she got out of her car. Starts walking over. What's your name? The one who said fuck you bitch. And I'm just like, oh my, dude, I slip off my name tag, stick it in my pocket, and then she starts getting closer and I back out. I'm like, hell no. I literally say, I can't do this. And I leave. And I go to Elijah.
You run away.
I say, she's at the window. And I didn't even run away. Do you know where I was? I was literally hiding, like, Mission Impossible, leaning against the wall. You know, all the way back up against the wall. Where the ice is. So I could hear everything. And I, like, peeked my head out. So I was watching this. She's screaming all this stuff. Elijah comes over. He has my back because he's a very honorable man. He says he has like certain things that in life that he always follows. So it's like, don't mess with his wife, his kids, whatever, blah blah blah. And he says he told us. He said he told us like literally that day. He told me, I don't know if you were there. You're probably doing something. Me, Jaden, and Caleb. He was like, how when people mess with us, it's like when people mess with his kids, and he hates it because he's like, how would you want someone to interact with your kid if they were the one working at the window? But people don't think like that because they're always so quick to just get mad. So he goes and fights her off for me, and she leaves. The fear of God had struck me at this point. So, I literally have like adrenaline pumping. My heart is beating. And I thought to myself at that moment, I've never like actually had this thought. I'm going to get shot. I'm thinking she's either going to come back or she's going to send her husband back. But I'm getting shot if I'm getting shot if I work this window. So I go, I'm like, hey, Elijah, can I have the prep? And he's like, we can't, Jaden's doing that right now. You kind of just got to stay at the window. I'm just like, okay. But inside, I was like the sad SpongeBob meme with the boom sound effect. I'm distraught. So I work like 3 more cars, and then Jaden's like, we could trade. So he's like, yeah, go ahead, do prep. So for the rest of the day, I did prep and I worked the line because I could not deal with any more customers. I had my fill of customers for that day.
Let me tell you another story.
Go ahead.
This was near like me quitting. This was late at night. I'm gonna say around 9. No, maybe 8, because then we switched our times up. We closed at 9. And so basically,
also, hold on. So, the story we just told you was during that like grace period where me and Angela like had the same shifts. But remember how I said like similarly to how before he had the morning shift and I had the night shift. It randomly switched, and instead I had the morning shift and he had the night shift. Alright, so continue.
So basically, I'm out here. I'm literally taking orders and doing the window. It's literally 4 of us in the whole entire store. And so, of course, as one person, I'm kind of slow. Because it's only me. I'm taking orders and doing the window and giving out food. So basically, this lady was just like 25 minutes. I'm like, yeah, kind of understaffed. It's like, I thought she was like, said it jokingly at first. Then I realized, no, she's one of those customers. So basically, she's like, now I want a free mashed potato. Go get me it. I'm like,
no.
I was like, you want to add on a mashed potato? No, I want it for free. I'm like, I said it again. What do you mean? It's like, I waited 25 minutes. I think I deserve it. I'm like, that's not how it works. I was fed up, dude. I was fed up. I was miserable. I'm like, she doesn't deserve it. I'm like, I look at her and like literally slam the window and go get Destiny. And luckily she took care of it. I just, oh my god. Just, dang.
Yo, that reminds me of two stories. Before that, pee break.